On top of a family emergency that delayed this video, I got new figures at the tail end of December, which delayed this video. I got sick with the flu, which delayed this video even further. And finally, recently, family came over and I had to delay this video again. But finally, it's here. It's like I wasn't even allowed to post this video to begin with. What is up, members of my collector corps? It is I, Super Mariozilla, or you could call me Vinny, and today, welcome, finally, to my top 10 figures of 2021. 2021 had a lot of good figures, in my opinion at least. Sure, there were a few stinkers, but there was more good than there was bad, but let's not delay this any further. I've delayed it enough. Here we go, let's get started with the list. This figure came out, got talked about a lot, and then faded into the abyss of obscurity, never to be talked about again. What a shame, because this figure is really good. Modok may not be the greatest figure, it still has some issues, but those issues are really minor. Just enough accessories, an excellent sculpt, and decent paint. Definitely would have benefited with a wash, otherwise he would have been higher. Other than those issues, he's a great figure and definitely worth tracking down. Oh, I'm not making friends with this choice. Yeah, this one is one of the more controversial figures I put on here because of one thing. The rubber shoulders. I know, rubber bad, but that's really it. And it's not as bad as Ultraman Tiga because the rubber is only in two places and it's easier to handle. That doesn't mean the rubber is good. God no, should not have been a thing in the first place. But the figure does have more good than bad in my opinion. The rest of the figure is great, I love it. Dare I say, it's my favorite Kamen Rider figure so far. Sculpt is fantastic, really good, the paint job where there is paint is spot on, and the accessories are okay. The only thing that holds this figure back is two things, the rubber and its price. If it was cheaper, definitely would have been higher. I recommend them, just don't overpay. The most recent release of the Monster Arts Monster Hunter line is another banger. The Monster Arts Zenogra is such a good figure, covered in great paintwork, fantastic sculpt, it's all around just brilliant. And the diorama piece is a nice inclusion. The transparent parts put on here are great details as well. The articulation is stupidly good for a figure that stands on fours. Only thing that holds it back is the price and lack of maybe some effect parts, but that's minor. I recommend him for any Monster Hunter fan, and I really want to see where the line goes from here. Mafix has been doing a great job with most of their recent comic book figures, and this is no exception. Psylocke is gorgeous. Beautiful paintwork, awesome accessories, and great articulation. I'll admit there's some bias, Psylocke is one of my favorite characters, but even if she wasn't, she'd still be on this list. Get her if you can, she's one of the best figures in the Mafix comic line so far. What if? There were more contenders that didn't quite make it to the list. Either way, still great stuff, and Psylocke is another banger. I definitely gotta review all the Gomez and Rebel Society stuff at some point, only after I get a couple more figures, so hopefully this suffices. The Mezco Black Skull's Death Brigade is an army builder. You're supposed to buy multiple, but still have the option with just one. They have such a crazy amount of accessories for one figure, and you can mix and match in so many ways. The figures themselves look intimidating, especially when grouped together. It's fantastic. I know that this is just a basic kit bash of Stealth Ops Gomez, just with a different sculpt, but the design of the Black Skulls, at least in this look, called for it. They are good figures, especially if you're into the Gomez stuff. Lots of display possibilities, and you know what, you don't even have to display them with Gomez. You can display them with other figures as well. The choices is all yours. And these guys, they make a good fit for anybody, in my opinion. I'd grab them if you can. It's not every day I can include a DC figure on these lists, because unless it's Mafix or Mezco, not a lot sticks out to me. Not even some of the McFarlane stuff impresses me that much. But still, this is a great figure. Dr. Fate is not one of my favorites in the DC universe, but this is still one of my favorite figures in the line. A decent lineup feature, great detail for what the cloth clothing allows, and fantastic accessories, and a wired cape. Something that needs to be included with all figures that have capes. Don't at me. Not too many gripes in all honesty, except with the effects. They feel very cheap. If they were just a tiny bit thicker and less see-through, they would have looked a lot better to me. But he was still good enough to make it to the top 5. Things only get better from here. This figure had no reason to be as fantastic as it is. This is stupidly good. Frieza in his first form. I love him. He has a great sculpt, great paint job, great articulation, and a great amount of accessories, including his pod. His pod. I don't know what else to say. He's fantastic. Just covered in great paintwork. His articulation is great too. There are lots of possibilities with this guy. He is just all around fantastic. This is pretty much one of my favorite Dragon Ball figures, bar none. Get this if you can. He is so worth it. I know you're yelling in the comments saying I'm cheating and breaking the rules, and I am, but I have my reasons. I love both these figures equally as much, and they are companion releases. I just really didn't want them to take up two separate spots on the list, because that didn't seem fair to other figures. Godzilla and Kong I love. I grew to love Godzilla 21 a bit more since I got him, and Kong is still one of my favorites in the line. He's great. Sure, Godzilla doesn't come with an effect, but if you collected the 2019 Godzilla figures, it's not a big deal. And Kong comes with almost everything he needs. Only a teeth-gritted face would have brought him up just one more spot on the list. Either way, if you're a Godzilla fan or a Kong fan, I definitely recommend picking these guys up. Cooler is really good, an all-around fantastic release. He's a big boy, a hefty boy. He's such an incredible piece. I was trying to justify him being #1, but was held back for one reason: competition. If the figure at #1 right now didn't exist, this figure would have been figure of the year. He is pure gold for any Figure Arts Dragon Ball fan, and his articulation just oozes greatness. The amount of poses to get this thing into is amazing for his bulk. You need to get him if at all possible. He is so worth having in the Dragon Ball collection. He's a must-have. He would have been #1, but someone else took that spot. This was the hardest list I'd ever had to make, period. Some figures didn't make it to the list purely because of competition, and I had to narrow it down somehow. I didn't have much of a choice unless I wanted my brain to explode, so if I missed any of your favorites, I'm sorry. But to show that I acknowledge them, here are the honorable mentions, here and now, before we go over #1. Mafix, Ben Reilly Spider-Man, is a stupidly good figure. One of my favorite Spider-Man designs made into Mafix was absolutely a dream come true. Comes with accessories he needs with just a little more sprinkled in, fixed some issues from the first Spider-Man release. Overall, this is such a good figure. Like, I don't know what else to say. The articulation is fantastic, the sculpt is great, and the paint is exquisite. The paint, in my opinion, is also a lot better than the first comic book Spider-Man. It's just, I don't even know how to explain it. It's just, like, the way the colors pop, it helps them pop on the shelf, and the fact that his new details are sculpted instead of painted is awesome. I know a lot of you will say the wrist gauntlets with the web shooters are a problem since they don't move, but it's not as problematic as I thought when I messed with them. Also, you can't notice unless you're looking up close. Honestly, I love this figure. He was absolutely worth it, and I recommend him for any Spider-Man fan. The hardest top 10 figure of the year list I had to make so far. It was so challenging, it wasn't even funny. And this list is bound to make somebody upset because, hey, it's the internet. But still, I hope you guys and gals enjoyed. Stay tuned, I got a lot more stuff planned. With that being said, I am Super Mario Zilla, or you can call me Vinny, and I am out. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you're interested in my content, and comment as well your thoughts. What was your top 5 figures, top 10 figures, whatever you had, or did you just not like most of the figures that have released in 21? Let me know. Let's have some friendly discussion. Just don't be a jerk. Anyway, hope you look forward to the stuff I have planned. See ya.